Hi guys, and welcome to an episode which I'm kind of on the fence about. There's a couple of things that I think are kind of wrong with this episode. One of the things is something which I've already apologized for, but I guess I can do it again. This time-lapse includes loads of placing things and then removing them again, and just in general trying to get things to work, because this is basically the shape that I took for the square at first, but then I kind of figured that it looked like a jellyfish. Let me get a picture of this. This thing! Basically, this thing. I kind of felt like that it looked like this thing. It doesn't really completely, but still, it's too similar. Also, it's kind of like 4chan's logo in a way. So, in general, you don't want to mess with either of those things. So, I don't think that was really the best decision. So, this thing is going to be replaced anyway. And there's a couple of other things. But, one thing that was actually happening in this episode is I finally placed the ride. So, that's something, I guess. But yeah, this is basically, I had to get this square in before I moved on to any of the actual themed areas of the park, because I have an excellent park planning with beautiful graphics, as you can see right here, and according to this plan, I really had to get this square first, see where all the roads go, and what kind of scenery I want to have where, and other things. Speaking of that scenery, by the way, you'll see that I have called the general areas with many different themes. Like, there's one area for Italy, Greece, and Spain, and there's one area for Holland, Belgium, and England. This doesn't mean that I completely hate the cultures and just think they're one and the same. I just want to assign general-ish areas. So the area with Greece, Italy, and Spain is going to be the Mediterranean area, and even though it's going to be one area, I do want to have some very small sub-areas, so to speak, in that one area. For example, there might be one Greek ride with some Greek buildings, but then at some other point in that area, I'll have an Italian ride with maybe some Italian buildings. So it's not going to be all mixed, but I kind of want that to be the general areas. And hopefully that's actually going to work out. Don't know exactly if it's going to work, but I hope so, basically, because I haven't really messed around with that yet. And something that I'm definitely guilty of is not really actually knowing some of the themes, and according to some people this is actually a really good thing, because I should kind of move out of my comfort zone. Some people have actually been suggesting Japanese for that, but surprisingly that is actually kind of my comfort zone. I just haven't released anything with the theme yet. But there are just certain things that I've never even done before. Like, I've only done a Greek theme once, but that was really just very simple. And a Spanish theme is completely new to me, but especially on the Asian side of this thing, there's some new stuff. And also Dutch is a theme that I've never ever tried before. I didn't want to get it in here just because I'm from Holland, but because it would fit in the rest of the park, and I feel like it's a theme which hasn't really been done justice in a way that I would like to see it. I mean, the theme park-ish Dutch is something that we've seen before, but there's just this general kind of Dutch architecture with classical influences that I haven't really seen in theme parks before, so I kind of want to try that. But that's very off topic. Basically, about the square, I decided to, in the end, go with a, what's it called again? A chair swing, that's the name, because I tried a fountain at first, but that was just ugly and stupid, and there weren't any good fountains, to be very honest. And I just wanted to have a ride over here, because you need something, yeah, and this is something that many people have been saying, and, you know, I guess I'm kind of aware of, is that you need something in the middle of your park, which you can see from the main street, which is kind of large, that you think, that's beautiful, I'm gonna walk towards that. And I know it sounds really stupid when I say it, but it's something that has to do with psychology and complicated matters, so I won't delve too deep into that. But basically, you want to have something large at the end of the main street. That's what it boils down to, and a fountain is not really the type of thing for that. You usually just have that at a small square, or some nice little pond or something like that, but not in the middle of a main street and the square thingamajig. So I have a fountain right here, right now, but that is really just a placeholder for the future chair swing. Speaking of which, I had to make some custom scenery for that, and I'm still on the fence on whether I actually want to include the custom scenery making on the park. I don't think so, because I'm quite it's not a beautiful process, and I really suck at it too, but just something that you may have missed out on, like, whoa, where did that object suddenly come from? Then that's because that happened, I suppose. It's not something that, you know, I really want to be too much like, oh, look at this special custom scenery, but it's just something that I kind of wanted to have because, I really can't find all the pieces to everything all the time, and it just seemed like a cool idea to have some custom scenery pieces that go with the park, and in the end, when it's all finished, and hopefully I'm actually happy about the park, then the custom scenery can be released too, and then everybody will be happy, I suppose. At least that's my dream plan right here. These planters in the middle are just going to be filled with flowers and trees and things like that. At some point, I really felt like the square didn't look good. Like, I was really not happy about it. These shapes, I'm still not too sure about it. Somebody in the stream actually said, "Hey, Silverette, why don't you make the square asymmetrical?" And I felt like, yeah, fuck it, YOLO. I'm just going to try that. And at some point, I felt that maybe that wasn't the best decision, but now I just kind of have to roll with it anyway. So in the end, you'll see that at least I think the foliage kind of saved the area, because it was really looking not that good. Right now, actually, is when I think it doesn't look that good. Also, the shapes of the planters kind of look like some kind of anime person to me. I don't know why I saw that in that. But the bottom two kind of look like a scarf or something, and then in the middle could be your face, and then all the other things are just like hair or something like that. But it really only works with anime, because that's the only kind of medium where people have stupid hairstyles. In any case, that is very off topic. A couple of problems that I also had with this was what kind of path covers I wanted to use and what kind of borders I wanted to have on them. Because at some point, I think I used branches borders on these things, or had some kind of curves that I didn't really like, and then I ended up replacing those as well. So there really was a lot of experimentation in it, and I'm kind of sorry about that, because I really didn't want that to happen, because it doesn't result in the best time lapses ever. But in this case, especially because it's in the middle of the park, and this square serves such a major purpose in the park, I just kind of wanted to work on it until I got something that I actually liked. And that's why I redid so many things and experimented with all kinds of stuff, and it ended up looking like a complete and utter turd at some points in the process. But I think in the end, it is hopefully going to kind of work out right here. Now here's when I add branches borders, of which I at some later stage think, okay, no, fuck that, that's not good. Not to mention that I removed those planters. Why did? Oh right, I wanted to remake these shapes because something really weird was going on. Like seriously, I measured the tiles. I counted the tiles on both sides, and it was completely symmetrical. Like, it was just as big on the right side as on the left side, so I added the planters to that, and then it ended up looking bigger than on the left side, and I was really confused about that, but there must be, like, some kind of visual problems going on there, or I miscounted it. In any case, I kind of wanted to make those planters on the left side a tiny bit smaller, so it would look more like an actual round square that's actually, where the middle is actually in the middle, because that's not the way that it kind of looked, and that was a problem, and that's just kind of why I wanted to fix that. I think it's actually kind of better right now with those new textures, I mean those new shapes, but it's really, the square as a whole is still quite experimental. Like, there's loads of foliage in it in the end, and some weird shapes, and usually this type of thing would be symmetrical. I think in the Disney parks they are all symmetrical, or at least kind of symmetrical. I know that the gardens on the sides aren't really, but like, there's some kind of middle piece which kind of works in a symmetrical way, at least more so than this thing. But yeah, I think at this point is when I add the chair swing, and oh my, this was amazing in the stream. Like, and this is going to completely fuck up the time lapse. I've probably done goofed at this point. Why did I add the carousel? Oh, right, that happened first. But in any case, there were so many things, and there was a time skip. Yep, because the game crashed a huge number of times. Like, I was in the stream, and it was just no SVD for SID, time after time, and everybody was just going, lol, you done goofed, mate. And that was not a good time to be me, but that was actually still pretty funny. But in the end, I suppose it kind of works out, and the little chair swing is here, finally, and it's here to stay, hopefully. The only problem that I had with it, it's the enormous hitbox. Like, as soon as you place one of those CFH rides, like, in a 1,000-mile area, you're going to hit that thing, and you're going to not hit anything else. So you try removing some custom scenery, and you click on it, you're like on the other side of the park, yet it removes that freaking chair swing. As you can see, also the custom scenery that it comes with is also has that thing happening to it. So it's kind of unfortunate, but not really too much of a problem, I suppose. I really need to stop spitting on my pop filter. Oh my, that is so not on topic. So here is when I did try to add something to that Ferris wheel. The problem that I had with this thing is, this is not even a Ferris wheel, what I'm talking about, the chair swing. Problem that I had is I wanted to have some kind of round structure around it, but there are no round Q path kind of stairwell things. So it was pretty much impossible to get something like that. So at some point I just figured, no, fuck it, I'm going to at least try this, go into SketchUp, see if I can actually make something that looks okay, and then I ended up with that poof, that was magic, and suddenly that was that. So I'm very sorry about not adding that. I forgot to record right there for like a couple minutes. So that's what happened over there, but, you know, I think it kind of works out in the end. It's really not a good thing, and I've been messing with fences for a very long time, and I fucked up every damn time. So in the end, I just decided to go with something really simple. It's really not much, but it kind of works. And as long as you get a couple of decorations around it, some lamps and some foliage, you can actually make it look okay. So that kind of happened. Now all these planters will all get their own kind of color thing. Not really sure in hindsight if this is really the best idea to do over here, but basically I wanted to have some kind of purple, some kind of red, orange, yellow, and another, I think it was just green. No, it wasn't just green. It must have been, fuck, I don't even know anymore. Probably pink, to be very honest. Yeah, I think it was pink. But basically, all kinds of different colors where each planter is assigned to one color, and that's basically how those things worked. And there's loads of mums over here. Yeah, there is a bit of repetition when it comes to the flowers. I really don't have too much experience when it comes to filling in flower planter things like this. So if there's anybody with actual gardening knowledge that has some critique on this, I'd be very willing to accept it, because I'm really not sure if this is the best way that I could have done it, and there are probably a couple of things that I definitely need to improve on. But in general, I think it looks kind of okay, and it finally made the entire square look decent as well, and that's something that I really needed, because like at this point, the square had gone through so many redoings and stuff like that, that I really just felt like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it this way, and if it doesn't end up working out, I'll just kind of work with it, but not remove it once again and try reworking the entire square, because that happened so many times that at this point I was pretty tired of that. But I am kind of happy about it. Yeah, it's not really too special in a way, but I just wanted something that's quote-unquote new kind of thing. Basically, the idea with the square was really stupid and pretentious. I wanted to have a ride in the middle, which you could look at from the main street, but one thing that I also wanted to have, since this is a park that, you know, is themed around Eurasia, and it even has a layout which should, at least to some extent, also kind of be the same as the actual layout of Eurasia, where Spain and Italy and Greece are in like the southwest, and basically the geographical kind of locations of the countries also kind of represent their locations in the park, and that's why I kind of wanted to have a compass in the middle of this path thing with path art. And that was really a stupid idea, but I think it was a good idea, just to like get some kind of excuse to place that in the middle of my park, honestly. Just wanted to kind of mess around with that. Before I did that though, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of pathwork in this little area. Don't know if it's really too good, really just a bit of a test, but I think it's kind of okay. It's not really too much, but kind of works over there. But this is when I got to the actual path. No, wait, no, I'm sorry. First I had to do some lights, as, well, that's also important. I mean, you can't do anything without any lights. Also, yeah, I recolored that chair swing, but that's not going to stay like that. It's just that stupid hitbox every damn time I hit that thing. I mean, there must be people out there who also have these CFRs, and it's like, oh my, why does this always happen? Like, these CFRs are absolutely amazing, great detail on them, and they're just awesome, but the hitboxes are just a bit of a turn off when it comes to that. Still though, I think it worked kind of good in the middle of this little park area, but it's time to do that path artwork already. What is this path silverette doing? Damn it. Oh, right, replacing the borders. And this was actually something that Blackout taught me about, and Blackout always tells me when I fuck up on things, and I definitely kind of done goofed on this one, because I think the new borders do look a lot better, more generic, and they fit the texture a lot better, and in general, I'm just happier with them. One thing that, you know, I'm kind of unsure about is whether I actually want to have this many borders. Like, there's a lot of border and sidewalk action going on in the park so far, and it's really not the most amazing thing ever. It's just a bit of a cheap tactic, honestly, to make your paths look better, but yeah, I might just go with it in the end. Anyway, this is that little compass thing that I've talked about. It's really not too much either. Like, there have been so many people who have done this thing in path artwork that it's almost turned into some kind of cliche. But I still figured that I could actually do it in this park, just because I have that geographical kind of theme to it, which I don't know if that's actually a good idea. I just wanted to get something over here to make this look better, and I suppose in the end, it kind of did work out. And I like doing this. I kind of like doing path work. It's not really that hard, but, you know, it's kind of like drawing doodles, things like that. It's just fun to do, and a bit of mindless placing. You don't really have to think about too much. You just place these things, and it's cool. But in any way, oh my god. In any case, or anyway, that's it for this episode. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you on next episode, in which I'll be doing... What am I going to do in the next episode? Let me check that. Let's play... Oh, I can't find it. Okay, we're going to do something... Whatever. Bye.